Welcome back to episode 4 of the Balanced Athlete podcast. Special one today. We've got our very first official guest on. We've got Shannon here today. How does it feel being the first guest?
Oh my god, I am the first guest, aren't I? No, I do feel special. Yeah.
Billy will be annoyed because Billy really wanted to be the very first one. Sorry, Billy. You're the third one. So obviously there might be people watching this that kind of know you anyway. I know you're very talkative in the gym, aren't you? So, but for those of you that don't know who you are, do you want to just give a little background of yourself in terms of like what it is that you're doing at the minute?
Yeah. Well, I've just graduated from like performing arts college, obviously. So I've done a few like dancing and singing jobs here and there and things, but like I'm also into fitness on the side of that. Yeah, and just in the process of bettering myself while auditioning for things and yeah, growing a big bunda.
And best mates with Tracy Beaker.
Tracy Beaker's understudy. Thank you.
Yeah, because what was that Beauty and the Beast that you were doing, right?
Yeah, and then
Tracy Beaker. I'm sure most people will know who Tracy Beaker is.
yeah, literally, like our childhood. That's mad. That still doesn't sink in for me though. Do you know, like, like I actually was her understudy. I was in her dressing room. That's crazy. So when this blows up and she sees it, shout out Tracy Beaker.
So I want to kind of, with you being the first guest, I'm going to ask most people this, and I kind of hope everyone has a kind of different approach to it because I feel like the phrase will be different to everyone.
Yeah.
But when you hear the term balanced athlete, what do you think of when you hear that term?
I think obviously like it does what it says on the tin, like it's balanced athletes. You would straight away go to like balance, like living a balanced life, and like I feel like for me it's like being able to balance like everything, not just like different types of training in the gym and things like that. I think it's like, you know, like your work life, your social life, your health and fitness. I feel like a lot of people like put their eggs in one basket and like can't seem to find like the balance of being able to excel in all three. Do you know what I mean? So like for example, if you put too much time into your 9 to 5 job, then when you get home you're not going to want to socialise with people, or you can't bother to go to the gym, that sort of thing. But I think being a balanced athlete, and the statement of that is like having the motivation to be able to balance all three and excel in all three. Yeah.
Well, that's a very good definition.
Was it?
Yeah. I mean, to be fit, that's not... And obviously, like, we spoke a lot about stuff related to the brand and that, haven't we? But that kind of is where, like, the message that I'm trying to portray with it, in a sense. Like, because people hear that term athlete and they just think, oh, like training and which I get, because that is what an athlete is. But that's why obviously the term hybrid athlete gets thrown around a lot. But for me, the term hybrid athlete is like someone that you do a run and a weightlifting session in the same week, and you're like, oh, I'm a hybrid athlete now because I do both. Whereas with this, that's why I wanted to go with balanced, as in like well-rounded. With like what you said, it's not just about being an athlete. It's about like taking that approach of an athlete, but in everything. Like you say, whether it's a 9 to 5, whether it's like you're self-employed like me, trying to do your own thing, or whatever it is, like friendships, relationships. It's just trying to improve every area of your life, like an athlete would try and improve themselves. So glad we're on the same page. So I wanted to speak about this on the last podcast, but we didn't really get time to do it. And it was on the topic of social media and body image. So I thought it'd be good to touch on that today, to obviously get a guy's perspective and then also get a girl's perspective on it. Because I think it is still quite like popular, but like popular in the sense that so many people still like compare themselves a lot. And I mean, well, if anything, it's probably only getting progressively worse. I think so. And I was watching the Chris Williamson and Mike Thurston podcast the other day. I think I mentioned this last night to you, where I don't know. I don't know where they got this from, or if it was a study or what. But they're basically saying that men's body dysmorphia is on the rise, and it's on the verge of overtaking women's body dysmorphia, and it has mainly always been, not always, but it's mainly been women that suffer with it worse than men. But now it's kind of going the opposite way.
Yeah, I think that is social media though, isn't it? Like 100%, like because of social media, like with like a lot of influencers, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sort of, like nothing's real anymore, really. Even when people are posting like Insta versus reality, I feel like it's never, for a lot of people, it's never actually real.
No, people are only posting the best stuff on their Instagram, and they're only posting what they want you to see. Yeah, I mean, no one really posts any of the bad stuff that goes on. And that's why another interesting thing on the topic of like comparison and that and jealousy. Again, I think I got this from, it would have been the Chris Williamson podcast again. I think he had a guest on there and they were talking on that topic. And it's like, if you're going to compare yourself to someone or be jealous of someone, it's like you've got to be jealous of absolutely everything about them. Yeah. Like you're just looking at one particular thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like if I come across like a Mike Thurston. Do you know Mike Thurston? You might. YouTuber, like he's shredded, massive, lives in Dubai, like living his best life. But you know what I mean? Like on the surface, if I looked at his body, or most people will look at his body and be like envious of it and be like, oh, I wish I looked like that. But you're only looking at a very small thing in his physique. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what it's took for him to get to that physique, like whether he's natural or not. Yeah. Like there's so many factors, and you don't know what's going on in his head. Do you know what I mean? His head might be an absolute minefield of stuff. And I think there was you got to know Elon Musk, surely.
Yeah.
He was on a podcast and he said, no one would want to be me because of how mad his head is. Yeah. And like all the stuff he's got going off in there, which again is crazy because on the surface you would think,
literally,
oh, like you'd love to be Elon Musk. Yeah. He's a billionaire. You know what I mean? He can do whatever he wants. Yeah. But he's like, no one would want to be me because it's the whole of him. Like I say, it's not just his wealth and his mindset. It's his flaws, like his insecurities, and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like when people compare themselves, it's not an accurate comparison because you're just comparing. Yeah,
I think it's like a consequence that people don't think about the consequences of things either. Do you know, like you compare into one tiny bit, but like if you want, like for example, it's like a give and take thing. If you want what they have, what have they done to get that? Like what consequences have they got to take? Do you know what I mean? Like you're saying, like it could be like affecting them mentally and things. Like for him to do that, like are you willing to do that? You can't be jealous if you're not willing to. It's like, you know, like when people do prep and things and like, oh, I want to look like that, he looks shredded all the time and things like that, even though it is just a period of their life. But like, are you willing to do that, to look like that? Do you know what I mean?
Well, that kind of ties into what we were going to talk about in a little while anyway, where it's like, obviously it's important to set them goals. Yeah. But a better question to almost ask yourself is like, instead of what do I want to achieve, what am I willing to suffer to get there? Because again, obviously I know this as a PT, and I've had people over the years and they say, oh, I want to get guys, I want to get massive, and girls, oh, I want a toned stomach and I want a big bum. And it's like, okay, but what are you willing to like sacrifice to do that? Yeah. And that's, I remember, I don't know if it is still a question on my consultation form. It is, one of the questions is, what type of progress is more important to you? Less quick but more sustainable, or like rapid not sustainable.
Yeah.
And again, I remember I had a guy, Anton, his name was, like, sound guy, and he was like your typical, like, oh, I want to get like shredded for lads' holidays and all that sort of stuff. And he put on there, I want rapid results, but less sustainable. So I literally said, I asked him that question. I said, okay, you said to me you want rapid results.
Yeah.
What are you willing to sacrifice to get that? Because if you want quick results in a quick space of time, like, something's got to give. And I said to him, he was like, well, I think his holiday was like 8-10 weeks away. So I said, like, if you really want to push it, like, you're going to probably no alcohol in the next sort of 8 to 10 weeks. And he was like, oh no, I don't know, I don't think I can do. And basically everything that I said to him, of like what he was going to have to sacrifice, he wasn't willing to do it. And I said to him, that's fine if you're not willing to do that, but you just got to realign the goals to match that. So again, I think a lot of people, and again, it ties in with comparison. It's they look at someone and think, oh, I wish I looked like that, but you don't see the hours and hours of weights that they're doing, or the food that they're prepping, eating, like all the gear that they're taking.
Yeah, that's another thing with social media. They don't show that. Yeah.
You just see, it's like that the iceberg analogy.
Yeah.
Where you only see the very tip above the water, but then below it, there's like another hundreds of meters a bit below. You only see that.
That is like
that
social
tip.
media, though, isn't it? Like, there's that, and then there's literally everything that's not on social media. Because there's so much, like, it's again with comparison. Like, you are literally comparing that tiny bit and leaving out all of that. Like, yeah.
Because what's your experience been with, like, social media and body images? Have you ever found yourself, like, comparing yourself to people on social media?
I feel like we all do. Like, everybody does it, don't they? They see something and they wish they had it, or they wish they looked like that, they wish they could do that, especially being a dancer and things like that. It does add the pressure of, like, looking a certain way. I'm quite fortunate that as I've got older, I've realised there literally is a job for everyone in, like, my industry. It's just getting the right job. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's right for you. But still, I'm guilty of doing this though. Like, I'll see, like, people posting things where they look absolutely shredded and be like, they'll only post that, but they won't post thingies. But then I can't. It's like pot calling kettle, because I would only post pictures where I look good, so I can't comment on that, because I feel like we all do it. Like, we are all guilty of doing it.
We're all part of the problem.
Yeah, literally. You're all the problem, me included. Like, no, what it is, I wouldn't post a picture if I didn't think I looked good in it. Why would I? But it annoys me when people do that, and then they'll also at one point post pictures being like, this is the real me and I don't care, and they'll sit and be like, this is me unposed. I'm like, yeah, but again, you are still part of the problem, because then someone could still think, oh, well, she still looks better than me unposed. Like, so it's unhelpful, but it's helpful. Do you know what I mean? You can't win with social media, I think, at all.
I think it's how you interpret it.
Yeah, literally.
I think some people, and again, I'm probably similar to yourself in the sense that probably when I was a bit younger, like when you're first getting into the gym at like 18, 19, you probably find yourself comparing yourself to people.
Yeah.
Like, even like that you see like in the gym, not only online and that, but I do think as you get older, you kind of realise more and you understand more that like we just spoke about, that you're only seeing the surface of what's going on. Like, I definitely don't see it as much now. I think you either fall into that camp of letting it eat you up and that jealousy comparison, or you end up using it as like motivation and encouragement, and like that's where I'm kind of at with it now, like with all the high rocks training and that. Obviously, you see people like my coach Jade, you see her getting like 56 minutes.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, Jesus, that's mad. But I don't see her doing that and be like, why am I not getting 56 minutes? Because I've only done one.
Yeah.
And she's done fucking God knows how many, and she's a high rocks master trainer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I use that as motivation more than comparison.
Yeah.
But it depends on how you look at it.
That's what I mean. Because I feel like for some people that whole motivation and not being jealous, using it as motivation, works for some people. But I also think, like, just having your blinkers on, not even being concerned with what other people are doing and, like, focusing on you. I know that's quite, like, a selfish thing, obviously, and not, like, makes less of, like, gym community, like, inspiring each other. But I feel like sometimes you do just need to have your blinkers on and be like, I'm doing this for me. I don't care what anyone else is doing. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like having the balance of, like, being motivated by other people, but also, like, just relying on you. Do you know what I mean? And your motivation, how you want to feel. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always, if you're the sort of person that falls into that camp of comparison and jealousy with people that you follow on social media, it's like, just you unfollow them.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. Like, they ain't gonna throw a hissy fit. Like, people lose and gain followers all day, and that's obviously I've just kind of restarted my Joe Swain account again, my personal one, because I was just using my PT page, and I'm not following many people on that page, and it's only for the pure reason that I just want to see content on there that's like going to be educational or like beneficial to me. So it's not like I'm not following people back because I don't like them or do you know what I mean? But I just want on that account I just want to see a specific type of content, and I'm only following people that like I actually enjoy.
And aligns
See,
with what
yeah, and yeah. So yeah, I think don't be afraid to like unfollow accounts that trigger you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If anyone's triggered by my account, feel free to unfollow me.
Don't unfollow me.
No, you're a clout chaser. You are. You need the followers.
Pick me.
So on the topic of High Rocks, I know I've spoke about High Rocks in the last podcast. I think I spoke about High Rocks Glasgow. So obviously we're doing High Rocks Glasgow together as a mixed doubles. This will be your first ever one.
Yeah, debut.
So what are your thoughts and feelings? I know I expressed my thoughts and feelings in the last one, so I won't go over that again. But what's your like? Are you excited, nervous, looking forward to it?
I'm excited because I just think I've seen like loads of videos and things. Obviously, you've already done one, and like hearing about it and things like that. I think that I am more excited. You obviously get nervous, but I just think like we're going to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like doing my first one as a doubles is helpful because I think doing it on my own, I don't think I'd be ready. Like, I think I would be more nervous if I was doing it on my own, but I don't feel like underprepared or anything. I'm just looking forward because it's a challenge, and I like a challenge. So, yeah.
I only really felt nervous probably when I got to the actual venue. I think again because my start time wasn't till like early afternoon, I think just after 1 o'clock. I just had a nice chilled morning, and it wasn't till I got to the venue, and that's when you start having the nervous wheeze.
What am I gonna do?
Literally, like, because I'm in the warm up area. I've gone for a wee, so you're meant to get to the start line 10 minutes before your start time, so it's about 15 minutes before. So I've gone for like a last little wee, gone back to the warm up area again, and I've like thought, I think I need another one. It was like the whole like angel and devil on my shoulder. Like one side was being like, you need one, and then the other one was like, no, you don't need one. It's just like feeling nervous. And then once I started, obviously I was fine. So yeah, it's for me, and I know everyone's different, but once I got to the venue, and obviously I was there on my own. Like I had my client Emma and Kyle were there, but I didn't actually see them until I started. They came to the ski erg station and they were watching me on the ski erg. But that's literally the only time I saw them. Because Kyle was then starting shortly after me. So it was essentially just like me on my own. So yeah, I think it'd be good for both of us, I think, to be fair, this time. like I said, you having someone there with you, that's already kind of done it and got a bit of experience.
So I don't think if I'd turned up like the way you did on your own, I'd have been like, I'm just a baby. Like, nah.
Yeah, but no, I think there's no doubt that, like, condition-wise, that you're ready for it. I mean, I know we've said that you're probably not as strong or confident as runner as what I am, but I think pretty much most other things, like the hit, but the hit side of things,
like wall balls and things like that.
definitely better at that side of things than me. I think, like the wall balls, the burpees.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm probably better at like the running, the ski erg, the rowing. I think that's the sled push and pull is going to be awful. Anyway, I think Well, I mean, I've obviously done a lot of prep.
Yeah.
Using both of them, not as much pull as I have push, but and even I find it difficult. I think there's no way to make it easy unless when you're training you're pushing like 250 to make it feel easier on the day. But yeah, I think that's going to be awful for the both of us.
Manifesting good things. No, I am. Now that I'm thinking about it and we're talking about it, I am really excited because I don't know. Once I get in my zone, like I know, like probably like you say, when you get there, you get nervous. But like the minute we start and like I get in that zone, because when I'm in the zone, I'm in it and there's no stopping me. But when I'm out of the zone, different story. Yeah. So once I'm in the zone, like I think we'll fly.
Yeah, because you're not worrying. All them, like all the things you were nervous of, you haven't got the time to think of that, because you're just thinking of like how out of breath you are, or my legs are hurting, and but no, it's good, and I think you'll. I mean, you've always been quite like mentally strong with the training side of things, anyway. I feel, but for me, that kind of like, because that was the toughest thing I've ever done by a long mile. That definitely like unlocks a new level of like what you think is kind of possible when you put your mind to stuff. So, and so that kind of leads me on to the last topic, which is obviously I've been coaching you. How long for now? I know you, not including. So you bought a training plan off me, didn't you? Yeah. To begin with, which you were following, and you found that quite useful.
I think it was the beginning of September.
Well, I think you were following that for like 3 months, weren't you? And then we're probably like
the online coaching
5 or 6 months in now.
I'm sure it was the beginning of September because I'd come back off that job. Like the day I'd come back off that job, I come straight to the gym, and that's when we sorted it out.
Yeah, it was, weren't it? So what's your experience been like of being coached by an elite coach?
Oh. So do you want the truth on? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I'll chuck you the money afterwards.
No, I don't know. I'd never ever thought I would get a PT, like, or a coach, because I don't know. I didn't start going to the gym properly or going to the gym at all. I'd never set foot in a gym till I was like 19. Because I'd always just danced and things like that. I never thought, like, it never interested me. But even like when I used to go to the gym by myself and didn't have any like sort of guidance, like me and my mate would run on the treadmill for 20 minutes and then go and do some crunches. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd never been in, like lifted weights before, and then even just having that program that I'd got off you, like trying the exercises, like that was helpful. But I think there's a thing of actually having someone like there to guide you through it, and like the weekly check-ins and things for like accountability, because I am very like self-motivated. And like self-disciplined, like with like my training and things, and like I always have been, but I think that's just being a dancer. But like having that accountability and that little like bit of motivation and more guidance, I think it gave me like more confidence, I think, in the gym, because if I didn't have like you there, like with the plan and like the like structure, if it was too busy, I would just get on the treadmill. Or I would just do like my own little workout in the corner. I wouldn't be like having a structured thing of like doing the same thing every week, which I think I needed to actually progress. So yeah, all good things.
There you go, folks. Online coaching inquiry link in bio. But no, I said that on the last episode about accountability, and regardless of how much or how little you know, right, that accountability is always beneficial. Do you know what I mean? There's a reason why bloody C-bum Mr. Olympia has a coach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's everyone would benefit from it at all sorts of level. And like you look at elite level sports stars and athletes, like your footballers, like basketball players, whatever it is, like they've all got coaches. And then I've also decided that I put on my Instagram story on just in the new year now. I know obviously it's like end of January now, but I've decided that for the whole of 2024, I'm going to quit alcohol for good. Which is, it's not that big a deal for me because last year I can probably count on one hand how many times I drank. And I just saw Stephen Bartlett's story, and someone asked him a question saying, how often do you drink? And he basically said, I don't drink. And he was like me, he'd only drink a couple of occasions a year. And it's one of them, because I only drink so little, you almost do ask yourself the question like, well, why do I need to quit? You know what I mean? It's not like I'm like an alcoholic or I struggle with alcohol and I feel like I need to quit from that before I become like addicted to it or whatever. But then he was almost like reframed that to be like, well, why do I even need to drink? If I'm only drinking like less than 5 times a year anyway. So I kind of read that and I thought that is literally like, I've wrote that because I'm literally in that position. So I've just thought, you know what, I'm literally just going to not drink at all. And I feel like it's not going to be difficult for me by any means.
No. Well, I mean, it's the end of January now.
And I'm not looking for any like approval or be like, oh yeah, go you for not drinking for a year. Like it's not that big a deal to me. Like I pretty much only drink when I go on holiday. Or like when I'm away somewhere. But I feel like I can go a year easily and not drink. Even when I'm away, like I could easily go to like a Lanzarote again and just like sip Coke or have a mocktail or something like that. So it's not that big a deal. But again, just for my own like, just to instill that confidence in me that I'm like, I just don't need it at all. And then obviously from a recovery perspective, from like training and because that's the biggest thing for me. I said this to a client the other day that it's not so much like I don't have an issue with drinking itself. It's the hangovers for me. Like I just can't deal with it. It just writes my whole at least one day off. Literally, we're talking. I can have like 3 cocktails, and for 1 to 3 days, I'm not 100%, and it interrupts my training, and I just feel like shit. So it's just that it's that feeling. You know what I mean? If you could drink alcohol, wake up the next day, and like be fine and go about your day, like I probably would drink more often. But it's just, I just associate drink with feeling shit. And I like the feeling of waking up every day, well, most days apart from if I'm like ill, of like getting out of bed and just feeling good. Do you know what I mean? Drinking my water, eating my foods. So it's just that feeling for me.
I get what you mean, and especially like with you saying it won't be like hard for you because even like when you are on holiday and you're having a few cocktails, your intention there is not to get drunk. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't feel the need to drink to get drunk. So like having a mocktail instead and waking up fresh but still having a nice like fruity drink, it's literally the same thing for you.
Yeah, because some people do go out with the intention of like, I'm going out to get absolutely levered.
I used to be like, the fact that I could literally join you on this because I've not drank this year and I think I drank twice last year. Like you see me New Year's Eve after 2 cocktails. I was like, that's enough. No, I did though. I used to like go out with the intention to get absolutely sloshed, like, and I would. But like, it's the feeling of it afterwards. Like you pay for that for days, even if you think you feel all right. But then you find you can't go about your day, and it's not worth it. I've come to realise.
Like, you're absolutely
It's expensive as well,
literally.
especially nowadays when you think of like price of like what's an average cocktail now? About between 8 and 10 quid.
Or if you go somewhere, sometimes they're like £12.95, or they'll do like a happy hour. London, it's ridiculous. Like even the spoons is more expensive for drinks in London. Like the prices are like.
What we're talking in London, like 20 quid for a cocktail?
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah. Like, or I used to drink vodka Red Bull, and it's £6 in levels, I think, for a double vodka Red Bull. Maybe still might have gone up. But I went to London on a night out with some friends that I'd done a contract with, and I paid £12.50 in a little bar as well. It was not a big club. We hadn't gone clubbing. We went to a bar, and I paid £12.50 for a double vodka Red Bull. Like, that's so expensive.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Same with like smoking as well.
Yeah.
I've got a client who was quite a big smoker, like back end of last year, and obviously I've been advising him. I mean, he was quite a big drinker as well, to be fair, and obviously I was advising him on how that's going to impact his training and his ability to put on muscle and stuff like that. And then I was sort of talking about it to him for a long while, and he was slowly getting better, like cutting it down a bit. And then honestly, in the new year, it's like he's just had an epiphany, and he's like not had a drink, he's not had a cigarette or anything. And he said, but and then the money that he's been saving,
if he put that aside
from that, well, he's been using that to have more sessions.
Oh, that's really good actually. Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to wrap this episode up here. Thank you again, Shannon, for coming on, being the first wonderful guest.
Thanks for having me.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out some of the other episodes on the channel. Like I mentioned earlier, I will put all the links in the bio to online coaching inquiry. I'll put the links to the women's training plan as well that you mentioned earlier, just because I know that well, you said it was useful for yourself, so I know it would be useful for other people as well. So I'll put that in there, and the link to the Balanced Athlete clothing website, which is launching on the 11th of February at 6 p.m. Very excited about that. Just last couple of things to put in place now, ready for that launch. We are doing an in-person launch, but the website will be live on the 11th. So if you sign up to the email newsletter, you will get 10% off your first order. So yeah, do all of that YouTuber stuff, like, comment and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next episode.
Stunning. Not that. Don't make me laugh.
Yes. Bye. You're not hoovering.